If you're feeling desperate to fix the relationship that you have because you seem to just stay disconnected when you're just trying to get your needs met, this video is for you. So many people don't know how to get their needs met without creating more conflict in the relationship. They feel stuck between their silence and explosions. They really want to be able to be happy and to feel connected, but the way that they go about it actually sabotages their relationship. Do you often feel like no matter what you do or say, you just don't feel heard or your needs are not being heard? You just seem to either hold it all in and put a lid on it, which creates what I call the pressure cooker, or you speak up and get labeled as needy or aggressive or controlling. Your partner says, "Stop trying to fix my problems," or they say things like, "I don't feel safe with you," but you don't even know what that means. This video is going to show you how to get your needs met in an appropriate, healthy, mature way that allows you to keep your self-respect and dignity while also learning the power of vulnerability. Before we jump into this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications for when I post a new video every week. If you're looking to really change yourself for the better because you know you have to change to save your relationship, hit me up on a discovery call. The links are below. So what are needs really? I personally always come back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, again, Maslow's theory has a few flaws in it, but for the most part, it is pretty damn solid. As you can see from the picture, the foundation of every relationship is safety and security. Right on top of that is love and connection. This is where our needs are. So all of the different layers in Maslow's hierarchy are needs. They are not wants. They are needs. So one of the things that we have to do first is we have to make a differentiation between a want and a need. So a need is at the base level, food, water, shelter, clothing. Now, a want might be that my shelter is a $500,000 home, or my want is that my need for food is exquisite dining. Our wants are how the needs are expressed. And so many people get that confused. When it comes to safety and security, feeling safe in our relationships is essential for us to have the love and connection that we absolutely want. Safety means different things to different people, and that's the process of understanding your partner and truly knowing how to love her or him. Love and connection, also very different for different people. Some people can feel very loved and connected, even though they have some degrees of conflict in their relationship that seem a little bit dysfunctional. Other people cannot tolerate a lot of conflict in their relationships because that's the way that they were raised, and they were raised in a world where they did not feel safe and secure. They felt threatened or abused, and they're traumatized by these things. And so love and connection is dependent on safety and security. So in order for a person to truly feel loved, you have to really understand what makes them feel safe and secure. And for my guys out there, let's make sure that we're understanding that our needs are important. Too many men have a tendency to push their needs down, suppress them, put them in the pressure cooker. Why? Because we were taught to ignore them in so many different ways. We were taught to focus on our wants more than we were taught to focus on our needs. We need love and connection. We want sex. And the mistake that so many men have made is that they've confused those two things together, that sex equals love and connection. And in one way it does, but in so many different ways it does not. Where so many people have problems is that they don't understand their own emotional needs. They don't get their needs for safety. They don't get their needs for security, love, connection, self-worth, self-esteem. They don't understand those needs. And so they chase after all of these different things to try to make them feel that way without doing the inner work to help them really understand how to create that in their lives. And when you don't know how to do that for yourself, it's extremely hard to know how to do that for another person. So these adaptive patterns come out. This immaturity starts to come out of you, where we're basically demanding our needs from our partner, that you're required to meet my needs. We're married, you're obligated to meet the needs that I have. or we get into some kind of tussle, this back and forth. I do this for you. You need to do this for me, as if the relationship is transactional. You owe me is the message behind that kind of language. And when you're using these dysfunctional methods to try to get your needs met, the chances of your needs getting met actually decrease because you're creating a lack of safety in the relationship. This is where we jump into the duality of control. We have to understand this. This Stoic philosophy principle is foundational to truly understanding your own growth and how to break apart a lot of patterns in your life. The duality control says essentially this: there are things that I control, which are my thoughts, my emotions, my behaviors. And then everything else is stuff that is outside of my control. So that's the duality: what I control and what I don't control. Now, what's in between? What's in between is influence. How do I use my thoughts, my emotions, and my behavior to influence the things that I don't control? And that's where things get a little bit squirrely for people who don't really have skills that are built around understanding how to love another person. If you're lacking these skills to be a healthy adult, this is where my program comes in. This is the stuff that I teach, because people who don't have those skills use their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors as a way to influence what I don't control in negative, immature, demanding, controlling, shut down, reactive type ways. And all of that challenges the need for safety and security. So when you act in ways that are micromanaging, demanding, interrogating, shutting down, stonewalling, playing the victim, suppressing the needs of your partner, making fun of them, intimidating them, criticizing them, putting them down in all these indirect ways like passive aggressive behavior, guilt tripping them, or you're blowing up in these rage cycles. All of that type of behavior is influencing your partner in a way that makes him or her feel unsafe. And when we don't feel safe, we don't want to be close to another person. So you can forget about intimacy, closeness, cuddling, affection, words of affirmation, because all of those love and connection types of things are dependent on our ability to create a safe and secure environment in our relationship. Now, I want you to think about that. Really think about it. If every single one of us has been around someone who puts us down or makes fun of us or guilts us or makes us feel like they're micromanaging our lives in one way or another. Somewhere in our lives, we've all had people like that. Ask yourself the question: do I want to be closer to these people? Or do I feel like their behavior pushes me away, repels me? Now, in this moment right now, you might say, yeah, I don't want to be closer to those people, but those people weren't my partner. They're not my wife. And I'm married to my wife, so she is obligated to meet my needs. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's reciprocal. You are obligated to provide a safe and secure relationship. If you don't know how to provide a safe and secure relationship, then she is going to be much less likely to want to jump into bed with you, to want to cuddle up next to you, because the exact same reason you don't want to be around people who disrespect you, call you names, put you down. You don't want to be around them. We're human beings. Just because we sign a piece of paper and put a ring on somebody's finger doesn't negate these basic human needs. You might want a great sex life. You might want a lot of affection. You might want respect from your partner. But if you are not a person who is approachable, or if you're not a person who is a safe person, if your partner feels afraid of you and your reactions, maybe not physically afraid of you, but emotionally afraid of you. She's afraid of your put downs, your criticisms, your demands, your passive aggressive behavior. She doesn't want to feel bad about herself. So she's not going to want to give you what you want, which is love and connection in that expressed way of intimacy. So to break these patterns apart, you have to learn the art of influence. to understand how to influence your partner in a way that makes her or him want to reconnect to you because they see you as a safe and secure person. Now, this is foundational to what my program is. Breaking reactive patterns is about securing your relationship by becoming a safe individual and by restructuring these dysfunctional beliefs that are actually at the root of this problem, and understanding that you don't love somebody by intimidating them. You don't treat people with disrespect and control their behavior and shut down from them or put them down and then also say, but I love you. Those two things are mutually exclusive. Love is something that shouldn't feel painful, and it most certainly shouldn't be filled with fear. Those two things are the opposite of love. So the deeper truth of understanding these cycles that you might be in is because you likely were not raised in a safe and secure environment. Now, you might be rationalizing yourself and saying, well, my dad treated me this way, or my mom treated me this way, and that was good for me. And that's what you may have taken from it as you've gotten older and what you've made it mean. But in the moment when it was happening, you were likely terrified or scared, or you felt angry or dismissed or devalued, or you felt like, I can't do anything right. I'm not enough. I'm not loved. And that sticks to us way deep down. And it creates these belief systems called schemas. And those schemas stay with us our entire lives, and they become part of your reactive cycle. When I feel rejected by my partner, I have a belief that says that I'm not enough. And then my reactions are to try to protect myself by being demanding or trying to intimidate or trying to guilt or trying to create this transaction after all I do for you. And guess what? You end up sounding very similar to your parents or the people who treated you poorly growing up. All of that is immature. All of it is not sexy. It's not connecting. It's completely dysfunctional. And then we wonder why our relationship is failing, or we feel like roommates are strangers. The manual that you get from your childhood is the one that you're using in your adult life, and you have to investigate and understand, what is this manual? If my father was critical and openly hostile or passive aggressive, that's part of my manual. If I see myself acting critical, passive aggressive, hostile towards my partner is going to feel the same way that I did when it was being done to me. So to turn this all around, one, you need my class, definitely. Two, you can get started with this by understanding the ways that you influence your partner. If you're engaging in behavior that is negative and dysfunctional as a way to influence your partner, that's under your control. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior is under your control. What you get as a result of trying to influence another person is not under your control. You can be a great person to your partner. You can be loving and accommodating, and you can be very considerate and safe. It does not guarantee that you're going to get your needs met in the ways that you want them met. And that's the process of working together and growing together in your relationship. But you cannot grow together in your relationship if you are down in the basement of safety and security. If your partner doesn't trust you, doesn't trust your reactions, feels afraid of you, is walking on eggshells around you, fears that you're going to shut down from them and not talk to them for days at a time, then you are creating the problem, my friend. It's time to start waking up to that. Your partner doesn't owe you their body, their connection, all of that just because they'd agreed to be committed to you. You owe them a foundation of love and safety and security so that they feel like they can express that connection in a healthy way. This applies to your partner. It applies to your children. Your children need a safe environment as well in order for them to connect to you. If you are yelling and screaming and putting them down or talking to them in really harsh tones, making fun of them, being passive aggressive with them, they will start to disconnect from you because you don't feel safe to them. And we don't like being around people who make us feel this way. This is the point of time where I have to challenge the myth that says that I don't make anybody feel any certain way. You're responsible for how you feel. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Wherever the fuck that came from, it's crazy. We influence each other all the time. I can make you feel bad about yourself by putting you down and tearing you down and attacking your character. If I'm your partner and you're my spouse, I am absolutely going to influence how you feel. That is the essential nature of a relationship, is that we affect each other in this reciprocal loop. So understanding how you make another person feel is essential, especially if you're under the delusional thought that you don't have an effect on your partner. That's crazy. That's just an excuse to continue to do whatever it is that you're doing, and deflecting and blaming your partner for having a normal reaction to your poor behavior. So when you're shifting all of this around, you're focused on your influence. You're focused on what you're doing with your thoughts, how I'm conceptualizing my partner or myself, or what story I'm creating in my mind about what's going on, my emotion, and then how I act from those thoughts and those feelings. Because once you act, you cannot take it back. It's been done. So if you have very dysfunctional beliefs about your partner, about being the victim, about like my needs are not being met, she's doing this to me, after all I do, those are the thoughts that you have to challenge. Because if you don't challenge those, they're going to squish out sideways. They're going to come out in your behavior in one way or another. You're going to say something passive aggressive, say something mean, disrespectful, and again, you go back down into the basement of safety and security. You cannot build the relationship up when you keep bringing it back down to the foundation. So this requires you to understand what those beliefs are. It requires you to understand and have a better understanding of your own emotional awareness and having a good understanding of your own emotional states. Because so often people say things like your partner picks up on your energy or your mood or your attitude, and she might say to you, "What's the matter?" And you say, "Nothing. Why are you always talking to me like that? Why do you always assume something's the matter?" Well, clearly something's the matter. Your partner's checking with you. She's checking in with you. And you're having a reaction. And then you blame her and gaslight her as if whatever it is that you seem to be feeling doesn't exist. So again, that challenges the safety and the security of the relationship. So you have to have a good understanding of your beliefs. You have to have a good understanding of your emotions. And you certainly have to have a really solid understanding and control over your behavior, your reactions. Because the reactions themselves are like taking a jackhammer to the foundation of your house. Your house is going to start falling apart if you are jackhammering the cement walls that are holding it up. Now, this is deep work. And if you're invested in doing this deep work, because believe me, it's worth it. Because once you start to understand how to be a safe and secure person for yourself, you trust yourself, you know your limits, you know your triggers, you know what to expect of yourself, you know your own boundaries that you have to protect your dysfunction from the people around you, then love and connection start to feel effortless. It feels natural. It feels fantastic because we're not goose stepping around each other all the time, like trying to get the other person to do what I want you to do. The other person wants to do what you want. You want to do what the other person wants, because that's the expression of love and connection. And then on top of that, you feel far better about yourself. You have a stronger sense of worth and connection with who you are as a person. You feel like you have purpose and meaning, and you can explore the different things about life because you're safe. You know you're a safe person. You know you feel secure inside of your relationship, and the love and connection that you have with your partner and with yourself drives your esteem forward. And I really hope this video reaches you, because I started this program because I see so many people have been lost in their own dysfunction and they don't even really know where to begin. And this program teaches you where to begin. It teaches you how to understand your reactive cycles, how to understand your adaptations, your belief systems, how to build the healthy adult and become a safe person inside of your relationship, to at least give your relationship a chance, a fighting chance. So many couples divorce or separate because they don't even know what they're supposed to be working on. They think they need to work on their communication or they need to work on connection. You cannot work on communication and connection if both of those things always leads to a fight. It always leads to hurt feelings. Then connection and communication feel dangerous. You have to work at the foundation. You have to work at the safety and security of each individual in the relationship so then you can actually build on top of a solid foundation that is healthy. The more securely you know what you can control and release what you can't, the better you understand the influence that you have in the relationship. And that's how you get your needs met without losing yourself in the relationship or without damaging the relationship. Please share this video with your partner or somebody that you love who needs to hear this information. If you're interested in working with me, schedule a discovery call. The links are below this video. And please check out the next video and subscribe to my YouTube channel as a way to keep building this channel up. I appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching.